And if we attune to that, we become really agile in an emotional way, in a physical way, in a mental way. We become peaceful warriors that can navigate any kind of waters. You don't want to be on autopilot on this degree. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Universal Truths, looked at through the lens of the Sabian symbols of astrology. It gives us the pictographs, the imagery, the psychology, and I throw in the gemstones day by day. Today we're on the Taurus Scorpio 22 axis. Thanks for being here. Let's get to it. We're going to start with Taurus today. 22 Taurus, the symbols. A white dove flying straight and fearlessly over troubled waters. A gem cutter's tool carefully sharpened and polished. A man drinking a tonic that causes rainbow colors to spread throughout his body. A blindfolded woman who sees the future. A yellow butterfly fluttering over a vast ocean. The stone for Taurus is Dioptase, and the spelling will be in the description if you want to check it out. It helps you be in the moment, in joy and peace, helps with past life regression, resulting in breaking karmic ties, reconnects you with your inner child, attracts abundance of all kinds. It speaks to the heart chakra and the water element. It teaches forgiveness, heals physical disease caused by emotional pain, like heart disease. It gives a constant influx of serenity and well-being. Very beautiful. Check it out. And if you want to know what these stones can do for you, you don't have to hold them in your hand. Check out this video. This degree is telling us a lot of things. Number one, there's trouble. If the white dove is flying over trouble, we need to be aware of that. And there's a couple of messages. One, again, we're in a major healing stretch here. So this is healers who can heal through color. It could be through the hands, but this is more of an internal energy that we're dealing with today. So healing with color, looking within and healing with color. Having an adherence to the inner faith that I will always make it through no matter what. If I tune in deeply enough, I will hear the message that I need to hear, I will follow it, and I will get through. So it's faith, walking through the fire in faith. And the issue that we're dealing with here is that things can be somewhat confusing if this particular degree is strong for you. So it's a long road, and it's a road that there are no shortcuts. Shortcuts will probably set you way back, if not completely derail you. So you want to be careful of that. That's the warning with this one. However, there are divine messages that are there for us to be had, and it takes a fine attunement to listening for them. And we hear them within. We hear them through our dreams. We hear them through meditation. And one thing that was mentioned here is to think of it like when one sense is shut down, the others awaken in a way that really wakes them up even more so. It's telling us to shut down the outer noise, like listening always to what society says. Yesterday we were talking about finding information in a book. Today we're being asked to find information from within as we tap in with a fine-tuned attention to each experience, and we find the trap door under the rug that we need to go through to get to the next step. So it's finesse, and that comes through faith. Finesse through faith. Let's take a look at Scorpio. The symbols for 22 Scorpio. Hunters protected by heavy clothing are shooting wild ducks. Hunters shooting wild ducks. A mountain of old shoes. A man hears an excited message with clarity and patience. A rug woven of old rags. Lurkers waiting to observe a bird once thought to be mystical. The stone for Scorpio is Andradite. It is a type of garnet. It protects and stimulates during meditative channeling states of consciousness. It's excellent for shamanic practices and astral travel. It aids emotional strength. It helps love relationships, self-esteem. It gives you a regeneration of blood, aids in self-confidence, communication, and courage. So this degree has a couple things going on. Number one, the socially accepted release of animalistic tendencies, but done in a social setting, like hunting during certain times of the year, like sport shopping, football, being the one who's on the field smashing and, getting the touchdown, and the ones in the stand also very actively taking out their aggressive tendencies in a socially accepted way. So that's definitely going on here. And when we look at these together, Taurus and Scorpio, the dove is flying over troubles. So there could be some violence. There may be a need for you to protect yourself. So just be aware of that today. And it probably comes from in ways that you may not see it coming, because this is an inward degree. So it will be something that would be passive, that you might not normally notice, but you feel it. Emotionally, you feel it. By tapping into each experience, you will feel it. And if you follow your gut, it'll protect you. Repeatedly, I have heard the message about coats. So somehow wearing heavier coats on this day gives you a layer of protection. And I today am wearing one that I made, and so it makes me even happier, because I found an old quilt at a thrift shop. I bought it, and I've made several things out of it, but one is this particular jacket, and I am quite pleased about it. So I love wearing it. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel happy. The woven rags into a rug, that's taking all the experiences that we've had all our life, and it becomes a beautiful, useful item. Our experiences become our power and our strength, because we've been there, we've done that. We know how to zig when we need to zig, zag when we need to zag, and there's a lot of strength in that. All the old shoes, so it's, barefoot, being barefoot or wearing shoes or worn out shoes. You could be a shoemaker if you have this degree, or love shoes, a love of shoes, because shoes represent the outer covering of our understanding, and as we walk the walk in those shoes, we gain whatever understanding that particular persona has for us, and then it's expired because it's limited, and then we end up with a pile of shoes that we may or may not need anymore, because we've moved on. We learn from them, we're happy for them, but then they've outlived their usefulness, so we end up with a pile of shoes. Socialization of instinct. So there's deep instinct wanting to come out right now, and if we follow the norm, follow the social norm, it's like, oh yeah, it's time for sports shopping, like Black Friday shopping ahead of time, and getting ready for it, like chomping at the bit for it. Or if you're into hunting, it's hunting season, it gives you an outlet for that. So this is strong for hunters and also victims, so be careful of, that's the double-edged sword always. There's always energy that can be taken in two ways. So wear a heavy coat today. You don't want to be a victim. Know what you stand for. Know what side you're on, and understand that there's some aggression out there. think about these stones, meditate on them. That might be helpful. Also, to really not practice not being on autopilot. It could be very enriching during this stretch to lean into each experience. If you taste the food, really taste it. If you're having a conversation, really listen. If you're at the checkout counter, don't be on your cell phone. Like be present in a way that you might not normally be, but it would be very enriching if you were here. And if we attune to that, we become really agile in an emotional way, in a physical way, in a mental way. We become peaceful warriors that can navigate any kind of waters, rough waters, but certainly any kind of waters, and subtle waters that you might miss if you weren't finely attuned, if you weren't fine-tuning your attention antenna. You want to practice that today if you can. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here, liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you had a dream about this, I would love to hear it. Otherwise, take care till next time.